Hi, this is your host Idil, and welcome to my bite-sized podcast series, Virtual Realities. In this podcast series, I aim to bring you insights, suggestions, and inspiration about individual study techniques, group work, and in-class participation for online education. As we've been experiencing for some weeks, the pandemic is reviving the need to explore online teaching and learning opportunities. As we move to online methods of teaching and learning, it can be hard to keep the same level of interaction up as there would normally be in the physical classroom. One way of enabling meaningful interaction and boosting positive engagement is through online collaboration platforms. These platforms have been widely used in work life, and now they're proving to be crucial for online education. But we have to keep in mind these digital platforms and tools are not inherently collaborative. It is how you use them to facilitate collaboration in classrooms. There are many types of collaboration technology, all with different features to help us work and exchange knowledge online. Which one you choose will depend on your reasons for collaborating. Today, Abel and I will talk about how online collaboration platforms can facilitate effective group work and build a positive learning environment. Hi Abel, hello, thanks for participating. Can you tell me a bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm from Australia and I have a background in mechanical engineering where I worked for 5 years in different places around the world in different sectors of the economy. But I got to a point where I didn't want to just be a part of optimizing the status quo society that we see around us. I wanted to be part of tackling the big challenges, getting our society within the planetary boundaries. But I realized I needed to be equipped with a more holistic approach to problem solving. And I saw food as an entry point to sustainability transition. So I went to Norway, and that's where I started studying agroecology, where I was equipped with tools and a framework to consider the big picture when it comes to transforming the food system.
And what is your experience using collaboration platforms?
Well, I've been using it from the very start throughout my whole time here at NMBU since 2017. Whether it was group projects in first semester, whether it was a research project at NMBU, or whether it was for a class that I was a student teaching assistant in, I've always been using collaboration platforms.
And what have you used so far, and what have you experienced?
Well, what is a collaboration platform? There's a whole bunch of different collaboration platforms, but the main ones you've probably heard of is Microsoft Teams and Slack. And essentially, they're a little bit different to just another online collaboration tool. They're a platform, so they seek to integrate a whole bunch of tools into sort of one portal, which sort of clusters around a conversation portal. Both in Microsoft Teams and in Slack, you have these conversation areas where conversation or discussion is organized according to different channels, which can align with different topics. So it really helps structure your communication in a way that Facebook Messenger becomes really awkward and clunky to try and use for getting work done in a group or a class environment. And at any time you can bring in new stakeholders or new people into your workspace, your collaboration platform workspace. Whereas with email, if you suddenly having a conversation, you got an email thread going, and then you're like, I need to post a file about that, or I need to include someone about that. It's very clunky to try and nest in that file or nest in that link or bring in that person to that part of the conversation you are having. So Slack or Microsoft Teams basically create this rich conversation portal where you can have this structured communication, and you can post links, you can post videos, audio, you have access to your cloud storage, and you can link that into your conversation portal as well. So it's really great for having discussion and making decisions without actually having to be physically present to do that.
So what are some other features that Teams provide us? Because I know that I'm not using it to its full potential, and probably many people are also not aware of all the features that Teams provide us.
Yeah, so of all the features that you do get, you get it either through the browser. So there's a browser option to go on these collaboration platforms. There's an app you can download for your computer, Mac or Windows. And then you also have all the different mobile devices. So Android, iOS, they all have an app for the device that you want to use. So it's this seamless experience to access these features. So it's essentially, you have this ability to instant chat with all the different users that are on Microsoft Teams or Slack. The whole university address book is actually accessible through Teams. So that's an added advantage for Teams. Video calls are integrated in to Microsoft Teams and Slack. You can record your meetings if you want to. So when you're having a video call, you can record it, and that just drops straight through into your cloud storage, where you can access it later. Like I said, it has access to file storage, such as OneDrive, where you, with Microsoft Teams, the university provides you 1,000 gigabytes of storage per workspace. And also you can integrate in other cloud storage options that you need to work with, either Google Drive or Dropbox, or your personal OneDrive can be linked in and accessible through the Microsoft Teams portal. It's also great for collecting notes using OneNote, which a lot of people might be familiar with. That can be integrated in both your personal notebook or a dedicated team notebook. It's great for document collaboration. So if you need to work on a Word document or a term paper or a PowerPoint, you can do all that through Teams, and that seamlessly integrates with all your Office products. And then Slack doesn't have that same seamless integration with Microsoft products, but it works very closely with Google Drive and its suite of products, such as docs and spreadsheets and forms, that sort of thing. But
well, there's a lot of reason to why we should get better at using these tools, but I don't know how. And I wonder how you became competent in using this tool.
Yeah, well, it wasn't through any sort of official training at the university. But I saw a need for it right in semester 1, and I heard about Slack, and most people had been using Drive. Everyone seems to know about Google Drive, but then we were trying to make these decisions and to have discussion with Facebook chat, and it's just pinging away, and it's just so frustrating. People couldn't handle it towards the end. So Slack was super important for us. Yeah, so basically I just threw myself in and set up Slack with cloud storage, and then at a later date I was trying out Microsoft Teams, and I basically learnt through just diving in, actually working on a project with Slack or Teams to try out the different features and functionality and get feedback and learn how to do it better. And then obviously reading a lot of articles online and watching tutorials on YouTube on getting the full potential out of Teams or Slack. So that's how I learnt a lot about how to use it. but yeah, it's really important to integrate all the different tools, because if it's just another messaging place, and you've already got to check WhatsApp, Messenger, SMS, blah blah blah. It's got to be more than just sort of a conversation portal. You got to integrate in the files, and then you actually you need to set it up right, and then you need to make people aware of its capability and make sure that they set up their apps right so they get notifications, so everything is working as it should. So that requires good setup and adequate training and sort of like demonstrating the full potential of these platforms.
What about for those who are not as tech savvy?
Well, yeah, it's just really important to set it up right, demonstrate the full capacity, and provide training for those people. But also for those people who are maybe not so keen on engaging with the keyboard, it's possible to do audio recordings, kind of like what you do on WhatsApp, and that's part of the conversation portal. So if you prefer that, because some people don't like typing, people prefer just talking, you can do that. You can also do video snippets. So that's all stored on Microsoft OneDrive. You got plenty of space. You don't have to worry about the video files being too big. And the other thing you can do also is drawing. So Microsoft OneNote is excellent for drawing, and there's a bunch of other collaboration tools which are also great for drawing, which you can integrate in with either Teams or Slack to mind map or sketch, or if you prefer that medium, you can integrate that into.
And this is my last question. I want to talk about a little bit of the added value of this platform beyond university. How do you see it?
Well, I guess there's two parts. It's super useful in the work and collaboration that you're going to do in the future outside of academia. It's very useful inside academia, but it's also very useful outside academia. The other element is sustainability. So, if we want to reduce the ecological footprint in the future, we need to be traveling less. And if we're traveling less, we need to still have tools that enable us to actually collaborate and make up for the losses of not being there in person. So, it's going to be super important for your professional life beyond university. So many organizations and governments and societies are using it to discuss, to make decisions and coordinate action to get stuff done. And it's going to be a super valuable skill going out there into the workforce, having learnt this platform, and great for reducing your ecological footprint.
Thank you, Abel, very much for sharing your experiences and insights. I understand that in this uncertain environment, it is important that learning continues, even if it can't happen in person. Collaboration is a key factor that flourishes learning, whether it is online or offline, and using collaboration platforms is a key skill that goes beyond university. Collaboration means that we interact with each other and learn to use each other's skills and resources to grow from one another. We learn to work with and resolve conflicts, as well as to practice personal assertiveness. Therefore, we must develop our use of online communication channels in order to bring out our best into our studies. As Abel said, the right setup is very important to utilize these platforms to their full potential. And then collaboration becomes easy, creative, and low threshold, even for those who are not tech savvy, and can help us accomplish the tasks that may seem difficult right now. Well, thank you for listening. Reach out to me at virtualrealities.info@gmail.com if you would like to participate and share your inspirational study techniques. By the way, the music in the intro and here in the outro is called Thief in the Night by Kevin MacLeod. The song is used under Creative Commons licensing with no alterations made. You can find a link to the song in the show description. This is Adele. See you at the next podcast.